Greetings, this video explains how to use the Arknights prioritized planner. In order to use the planner, you must have the file downloaded and run in Microsoft Excel or LibreOffice. Make sure to download the file and not use it from Google Sheets, as Google Sheets does not allow macro usage. When you download the file, make sure you enable macros if asked. The first recommended step to use this planner is to start with the priority matrix. This allows you to enter priorities for which order you plan to upgrade your operators in. You can start filling this sheet out by indicating which operators you have in the hired on column with a 0. Alternatively, any number or letter will suffice. This will allow you to filter which operators you have and keep track of your operators. This is not required. Once you enter the operators you have, you can enter your current upgrades. This is for your tracking purposes only and has no effect on calculations. To do this, enter 0 in any cells for operator skills or level ranges which you have. When you enter your priorities, you can start with the lowest number, which indicates the highest priority. Each cell indicates an upgrade from the previous column to the current column. So for example, Bee Hunter is being prioritized to be upgraded from Elite 1 level 40 to Elite 1 level 50. You can enter the same number for more than one operator or priority upgrade. The planner uses priority levels as sets of upgrades to target at any given time, so you can have as many or as few sets as you want. You can also have priorities that are out of order or missing values, and this will give you erroneous results. For example, this would not give you the resource requirement from Elite 2 level 40 to Elite 2 level 50, as shown. Skill ranks are over here, starting at skill rank 2. For example, the first column represents an upgrade from skill rank 1 to skill rank 2, and so on. Masteries, this is indicating the first skill mastery, second skill mastery, third skill masteries for Amaya and 6-star operators. If you already have priority settings from a previous version of this file, you can copy them over and paste them into the new file. This may be useful when new operators come out, as this planner is routinely updated for new operators. It is advised to use paste by values rather than default paste, as that may overwrite formatting. You must be cautious that you do not have filters selected when you copy old data. You will get lines which do not match up due to new operators shifting your old data up a row or two. In this case, one of the new operators is lazy, so we will shift everything at or below them down 1 row. And the other is Siobe. You can also use filters such as hired on if you have sensible numbers or letters, or to hide blanks, which would include operators you do not have. You can also filter by operator rarity, class, or subcase. For these, you need to keep the blanks checked, and for hired on, you need to keep on checked. Otherwise, you will lose the top row, which states the levels. You can use filters however you wish, but avoid sorting anything, as this may invalidate the results. In the control panel, you can enter your stored resources from your depot in the top section. If you have a previous version of this file, you can easily copy-paste the values in. Under sanity, you can enter the total sanity value for any sanity potions you wish to keep track of. You can check daily income if this is different based on missions or base categories that you have, if you are getting more or fewer potions or not completing certain milestones, etc. You can update this here or use the daily income sheet, which can help you calculate and keep track of all the various daily and weekly income sources. There are 4 special cells worth noting. One of them is byproduct rate, which is the byproduct rate for using operators in the workshop. So if using no operators, this is 0. If you use operators with the incorrect or no bonus, this is 10%. And if you use operators with bonuses, this can be up to 20%, such as with Nyan. Maximum priority is the current level of priority you are considering. So for example, With a priority of 3, we are considering the priority levels between 0 and 3, so here 1, 2, and 3 on the priority matrix. Note that 0 is ignored. Selecting priority level 3 will also ignore any priorities greater than 3, so this will ignore 5, 10, etc. Sanity cost is a calculated value which approximates how much sanity you will need to spend to achieve your current target. Days to completion will similarly tell you approximately how many days are required to complete all of the farming. In the main chart, you will see the resource types. There are also sanity values which you can edit. It is advised to only edit the 10-celled values since the other cells often have equations which account for workshop recipes, etc. However, the optimization will keep track of new values if you choose to replace the workshop recipes with some other value or equation. Stage name is the name of the stage to run. If you change these values, be sure to enter the correct syntax, not including any spaces, etc. If you do not wish to run any stage for some category, you can put n/a in the stage name. If you do this for a higher tier material and are still farming the lower tier, it will account for the required materials using crafting. If you do this for lower tiers, it may not account for farming that material type properly. Material count is approximately how many materials you need to farm for missions. For example, if this said 10, you would need 10 RMA 7024 from stage 4-9. Stage count is the approximate number of times you will need to farm these stages. Crafts to make is approximately how many times you will need to craft each material. You will notice some values are non-integers, and this is because the planner is estimating based on drop rates and byproduct rates. For example, if a value is between 1 and 0, you may get that material from a byproduct due to crafting a higher tiered material. Crafts available will tell you how many crafts you can currently make based off your resource depot, so this will tell you immediately what you can try to craft right now. Crafts to make, on the other hand, tells you what you will need to craft eventually to achieve your target. These different buttons allow you to change which missions you are optimizing for. For example, the starting mission sets can be restored using long-term missions. Each button takes a bit of time to run. The long-term mission option assumes you need every material and are willing to farm a different stage to get a different tier of material. If you do not wish to farm tier 3 materials that are not optimal for long-term farming, you can use the apply tier 4 to tier 3 missions button, which will replace the tier 3 missions with the optimal missions for tier 4. These drop tier 3 as well, but may drop less tier 3 than other missions that are more specialized for tier 3. Apply midterm missions is an optimization program which will determine a set of sanity values customized to your currently selected priority setting. This is based off of ignoring any resource drops which you do not need and recalculating optimal stages accordingly. It will also determine and use the optimal missions for those sanity values. For example, if I set my longest term priority 10 and apply midterm missions, we can see it calculate the sanity values. Note that this only works for tier 3, meaning it will not change the required missions for tiers 1 and 2 and will not account for tier 4 resources which you may not want. It will adjust the optimal missions for experience and LMD. Note that it set the sanity values for polyester, coagulating gel, and alloys to 0, as I do not need any more of these than I already have for this priority level. When it completes, you can see it marked CE5 and LS5 as optimal. These missions may or may not be optimal depending on which other resources you need. Apply custom missions allows you to change the missions used in the calculate mission option to whatever you want. You can enter your values for the stage names, just be sure your custom mission drops the correct material, and the name is correctly entered. For example, in this case, it's set 4-6 for ore rock clusters. Let's say I want to farm 1-7 instead. I can put n/a here and be sure I use the correct formatting. Then apply custom missions. Note that any changes to mission names will not take effect until you click Apply Custom Missions. When you go into optimizing for any set of priorities, click Calculate Mission Counts, and this will determine how many missions you need to do of each set. This may loop several times. This looping is intentional as different stages can give side drops that may affect other types of materials, and the program is accounting for all drops from all missions. This program is also tracking your daily income and reducing required missions accordingly. Once it completes, if you have any errors, they will show up here. Note that you can exit out of any macro using escape. Reserve resources down here is a way to request additional resources. These are used just like the stored depot, except the more resources in this chart, the more resources you need to farm. There is also a store tab for keeping track of the values of the various resources in the friend credit store or from yellow or green certifications. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for using my Arknights prioritized planner.